Hey everybody, this is Chris, and thank you for joining me in another little unboxing video. When I say little, it is a little box. It's been a little bit since I've been on my channel, so hopefully you guys stick with me here and are watching. But as always, hit that thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe and of course the bell for future content notifications. But yeah, look at this little tiny box. This has the new DJI RC in it. It has the quad, and it has the standard 34-minute battery. So let me explain to you. I ordered the Flymore with the extended batteries. So what you get is you're always going to get the one standard 34-minute flight battery. And then if you get the Flymore, you're just going to get two of the extended 47-minute batteries. So that's what I've got with my Flymore. That all comes in a separate package, which we'll get to that with the little accessories and things. We'll save all the little accessories and stuff that come with it for last, because what everybody wants to see is the quad and the controller and just talk about it some. So we'll open it up, we'll look at it, and we'll just kind of look at my point of view of this quad. But just a reminder, look at those big old eyes on the front of this thing. Now early on I said this looks like a frog. I started putting little frogs in my thumbnails and stuff like that. So it has grown on me. It is something that you get used to after you see so many pictures surfacing around Facebook and YouTube and stuff from other people's reviews in other countries where they've all been reviewed, and it starts growing on you. So I think it looks a lot prettier now. It looks a lot nicer to me. Very nice lush eyelashes, kind of hard to see, but big beautiful eyes. So I think she's quite pretty, and I might just keep her around a little while. So it tends to look better too after a beer. They always look prettier after a beer or two. So, but here's one thing you have to get used to right off the bat. We'll just say unfolding the back legs and rolling out the front legs. Get my fingers off the props. And you'll see the front legs aren't as extended forward as they normally are. Not totally like a dead cat, but it's that type of effect where they're kicked back some. And then I will pull the cover off, and then we'll go over the key specs of what kind of grabs everybody and what the selling features are and so forth. But you'll see the cover snaps on back here. It goes over top of your ultrasonic sensors and kind of protects them, but also utilizes those holes. See if you can get that better right there. And you'll see on the bottom it's got the 249 gram printed on the battery. It's not printed on the quad, it's printed on the battery. And then of course our camera. And then I'm amazed at the fact that this is a 249 gram quad. When I hold this next to the Mini 2, it's amazing that they both weigh under 249 grams. It's shocking to me because if you look, it's a little bit wider. It's definitely thicker. The arms are longer on it. The props, look at the props. Props are longer on it. You have more gimbal on this guy than you do on this guy. You have obstacle avoidance. You have three-way obstacle avoidance all the way around it. So it just amazes me that they kept this at 249. Now, like I've said, you've got the extended batteries that will take you over that weight, but we have the three-way obstacle sensors. We have APAS 4.0. We have larger props, 4K 60 frames per second, 48 megapixel RAW, and that's photos, and 1/1.3 is your sensor size, and then 1.7 is your aperture. So they've really gone and knocked a lot into this baby. And we'll just have to wait and see after some firmware updates, once everything's fully activated and working on it, or as much as they can get activated and working on it. You know how that goes. We'll see how all that works. But let's go straight to the camera, because the big deal with the camera is not only does it point all the way down, it almost points all the way up. Now you're not going to be hitting fully up like that. I think it's going to be more like this. So that's something that you're used to seeing if you had the Paradenofi, or if you've seen the Paradenofi, and they did it well, to where it kept the props out of the lens and all that. The eyelashes might show up in the lens though; they're pretty big. But that's nice for doing some cinematic shots, going up to a tower or a building or something, whether you're going up or going down, and pulling away from it and having that camera pointed straight up. There's going to be different things. I liked it when I was doing like waterfalls and stuff. So you have that ability, but we also have what's a big deal to a lot of people, that the TikTokers and stuff out there, is not only do you have horizontal, but you have vertical. So the camera turns and goes vertical. And then that gives you the screen that you're used to, your vertical screen for publishing your TikToks and things like that. So that's the big deal for the gimbal that they've gone with on the Mini 3 Pro. You've got the huge sensors in the front there, and then you've got the sensors directly underneath, and then again these two sensors that I spoke about earlier. And then you have the rear facing sensors. Now these are quite strange because, for one, they're very small, but their angle, if you look, is going up like this. If they point at an angle like that. Now the reason for that is they're rear facing, and when this thing flies backwards, it tilts like this. So when it goes backwards, it's tilted like this with the angle of these motors. You can see these motors are pitched, which I'll talk about next. But the motors become a little more straight, a little more level, and then it pitches like this. It also hovers like this. So if you're hovering and you just barely are moving back, and say there's a tree back here, it'll stop you, or it's supposed to. Or with the A-Pass, go around it or over it. So we'll see how those work, but I think the reason they made them so small is because they don't want to have such a wide range view like you have on these monsters in the front, because if they did, then you'll pick up the props and possibly the body of the quad. So that's the rear facing sensors. And the motors, I'll talk about those again. As you can see, if I hold the quad level like this, they're pitched forward. Not only are they pitched forward, they also pitch out to the sides on both sides. So even when you have them sitting pretty much level, they still have a downward pitch going out the sides. That's supposed to be for stability, and from my understanding, even more so stable in the wind, which, if you know me and doing my reviews with the old Autel Nano Plus, that's going to be something I definitely test with this. And we have a lot of wind here coming through these mountains, and I'll be a very good tester of that myself. So we'll see how she does in the wind, and how it's affected. And I'll take it to the same place I fly and put it in the same conditions, and we'll see how it goes. So those are your sensors, that's your motors, and explaining the difference with the pitch and everything, and how it's supposed to be something from a better stability standpoint. So we'll see how that goes. Your arms on this are much longer, or fairly a good bit longer here than the Mini 2. It's still hard to believe. Every time I look at it, it's hard to believe that it's a 249 gram quad. Now they don't have feet landing gear like the Mini 2 has, so you lose a little bit of weight there and can extend the arms out. But still, it just seems like a much beefier quad. That toy grade, plasticky, cheap feel you get with the Minis, it doesn't feel so bad with this quad because you've got the cut angles and stuff, not a flat top that is very soft to push. This type of cut angle makes it more rigid. So I'm not going to say this quad is robust. It's not robust. It's more rigid than what we're used to, I think, with the original Mini, the Mini SE, the Mini 2. It just feels a little bit better, especially when you have the advanced battery in it that has more weight to it. It just feels like, it doesn't feel like the little mini toys that you normally have in your hands. So that's everything pretty much on the quad. Showing you taking the battery out, you just squeeze the tabs. There's the battery. This battery is very hollow. There's not much in there compared to the Fly More battery, the extended battery. The extended battery is utilizing every bit of space inside this battery. It's not so hollow sounding when you tap on it, and it's not as light, obviously. So it's the exact same size battery. Both of them fit perfectly in the hub together. You can charge them at the same time together. And of course, they both fit inside the quad. And like I pointed out before, this one says 249 grams printed on the battery, where the extended batteries will not have this printed on them. So that's pretty much everything for the quad. You have sufficient cooling up in the front, and then you have your vents in the back here. So hopefully that is all enough. And then you have 2 slots here that will help with cooling the battery. Those are strictly located at the battery. All right, so that is it. And there is no cooling fan inside this quad, so I just want to point out, when you're doing your firmware updates, when you're registering it, when you're transferring photographs, whatever you're doing, not flying, just sitting on the tabletop, powered up, put a fan in front of this thing and blow some air into it, or use like a cooling pad like you use for laptops to suck that hot air out and keep that air flowing through it. Do not let this sit on top of your table or your desk or whatever and be powered on for extended periods of times with no cooling fan, because it will get hot. And that's something I'm going to pay attention to as well. Future videos coming up, seeing how hot this gets, pushing it as far as I can push it with the range on both type batteries, testing the obstacle avoidance sensors, testing some night flights and camera quality at the best of my ability, and so forth. So that's the quad. Let's move on to the controller. And this is where I was a little surprised, because I wasn't crazy about this. I did not think I would like this. I can't say that I totally like it yet because I haven't used it. But the size of it is smaller than I expected. And it's pretty funny. If you put it next to the original, the standard in-one controller, it's not much bigger, but it's lighter. I didn't weigh it, but when you're holding it, it feels like it's lighter. I definitely think if I weighed this right now, this one would come up lighter than this one right here. So that's nice because it's just very comfortable in the hands. Now, what I was worried about is when in holding this, if I'm going to end up covering up the screen. I have longer hands. I tend to put more palm over the controller, and I'm afraid I'm going to cover that. So it's going to be something I have to adjust to my comfort with and keep my thumbs off to the side. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to really get too much into the screen brightness, how it is in the sun or anything, because I haven't had any flights with it yet. But in comparison to a cell phone, if I'm correct here, I completely forgot to look and check, but I think this is like 700, just over 700 nits. Your cell phone, or my cell phone, iPhone, one of the latest iPhones, or close to it, it's like 800 nits. So my cell phone's actually brighter than this, but the problem with the cell phone is the processor gets hot. The screen gets incredibly dark to where I can barely see. It's like gets down to like what I would guesstimate would be like 200 nits. And you can't see, and it's just not safe to fly that way. So that's one thing I look forward to with this, is not having that screen dimmed down. We have all the normal buttons pretty much, except this one here. I forgot to check what that is, and I'm sure I've seen it in somebody's review. I don't watch a lot of other reviews and have them influence me, but perhaps I should. But I think this one is programmable. Maybe it's so you can take and quickly make your gimbal vertical, horizontal and vertical, exposure and stuff like that, quick camera settings. And then of course your two on the back here. Hopefully these aren't something that get in my way, because I do tend to hit these kind of things, so I might not program these at first and see if I accidentally hit them. And then of course you have your wheel for your gimbal, and then your typical stuff, picture and video, your pause, your takeoff, your power, your cinema mode, which is your slowest, your normal mode, and sport mode. And then, of course, down here at the bottom is where you charge it with your C-type. You have these two ports here, which I imagine are for lanyards. Nothing comes with it that screws in here to put the lanyards on, but there are other DJI smart controllers that have these, and you screw those in, and you have your little eyelets, and you hook on your lanyard, and then it hangs down around your neck. And then inside, I'm sure with some more updates, we'll find the full ability of use on this host port. But you have your micro SD card slot and a host port. So we'll see what those do after we get through some updates and how well everything works. People want to know if they can use another screen, if they can plug other, certain things into this while they're using it, for somebody to monitor on the side or what have it. And or to put a giant tablet over top of the controller that already has a screen. So that's the controller. Not much bigger, and feels like it's lighter and very comfortable. You can see the grips, very nice, very comfortable. So, oh, and I forgot to pull the sticks. The sticks are stored right here. They did go and make another change on their sticks for us, and I don't like this one. The studs on here are extremely small. It's hard for you to tell, but they are tiny little studs, and you've only got like 4 threads. This is now a female, and that's a male, where it used to be the other way around. That was female, this was male. I don't know why they made this change, but it is so tiny. You better not cross thread these, because they will cross thread very easily. And once you have them on, you're going to want to be very careful and not hit them, because you will most likely break these. I can see these breaking so easily if they get hit. So remember, take those sticks off, store them in the back, or a lot of people are going to be printing out 3D printed covers, and I've already seen some to where they keep them from moving around and will take some hitting. I like to leave my sticks on, but I think I'll be taking them off. No matter what type of case I have or cover I have for the front, I think I'll be taking them off and putting them in the bottom. The reason I like to take them off is because I don't want to lose them, and I'll drop them. So that's it for that. You get a little box here of extra props, screwdriver and cord, and all your paperwork. We're not going to even pay any attention to any of that, because the paperwork is basically safety stuff. Take a look at it if you want. It's always very basic. The best thing I recommend is go to their website and download the full manual. You'll get so much more information, details, and you can print it out you can save it as a PDF on your computer. You can print it out. You can print it on small sheets, or you can make it on a big sheet. If you're an old fella with bad eyes, you can print that stuff out. So these I never look at. They're pretty worthless to me. And then you get 2 sets. You get a set of A and a set of B props. And then you get your screwdriver. And then you get Type C to Type C cable. And then now, lastly, onto the Flymore. With that, you get the MERS. And like I said, I got the extended batteries. So you open it up, and it's a shocker, because this is where you're used to having everything. You open this up, and that's all you have. You have some stuff up here, your extra props and stuff up here, but you just have your 2 batteries and then more papers that you're not going to read, and that's it. So just to show you how many more props you get, I think you get a total of 4 more sets, 2 more A's and 2 more B's. You got your USB to micro C or to C type. And then you have 2 more A's and 2 more B's, and then an empty bag until you go and fill it all up. But this is the charging hub, and I really do like this charging hub because they snap in. They will not come out. They're not coming out unless you squeeze the tabs just like you would on the drone itself. So again, these are the extended batteries. These are the bigger 47-minute flight time. Same exact size housing. They both fit into the quad. They both fit into this charging hub. You can put them all in together and charge them all at one time. The batteries are smart batteries. They know how much they need to charge to. All this is a power source. They know what capacity to charge to. And then on the side here, you have your in, where you put your micro, or you put your C-type. I keep saying micro C. Your C-type cable into here to charge your batteries. And then you have an USB out, and that's if you are in a pinch and your cell phone's dead and you have a battery in here or all of them and you want to bring them down in a charge state. You plug this in, use this as a power bank, and charge your cell phone with it. And then of course the power button. None of them are charged except one. Yeah, this one's fully charged, and then the other one's just got a couple on it. I want to make sure you know you will not be able to power on your quad whatsoever when you first get it. You won't get any power whatsoever. A lot of people are saying the batteries are coming dead. They're not. They're just, again, they're smart batteries. They know they need to have a charge. They're programmed to take a charge before they will even power on. So your batteries aren't bad. Don't panic. They're just not going to show any life whatsoever until they've got at least a 3/4 charge. I don't know the exact rate, but I went about 3/4 and I got it to power up. So that's it. That's the hub. That's everything else. And we're going to keep these little eyelashes on there and see how she does, see how long they last. I don't know. Maybe I'll take them off. I was just being silly with it, trying to make this thing look a little prettier. Doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it flies and it works, and I'll be happy with that. So I've got a lot of stuff I want to do with this, and a good bit of it I'll put on my channel. And then a lot of the other stuff I'll just discuss whenever I do my live stream events. And there'll be topics for conversation. I did not mention the lens filter, did I? I don't think I did. This is one of my favorite things. I can't believe I missed it. So the filter, no more clip-on or anything like that. They went with the same DJI style we're used to with like the Mavic 2 Pro and so forth. The Pro... you know what I'm talking about. They literally just, you turn counterclockwise and they click and they come off. And then you put your filters on and they are not falling off. You don't have to worry about them. So it's nice that they went, oh, I'm so sorry I messed up your eyelash. It's nice that they went that way. I called that early when I first saw the pictures of it. I said it looks like a twist off filter, and I am so happy that they went that route. I was pretty good on a lot of my predictions with this quad, just looking at the pictures, trying to guess what it will have and what it won't have. Good job, DJI. You did a good job so far. Looks like it's got potential. I've seen everybody else's, or not everybody else's videos. I've seen some other ones, but again, I like to influence myself. I like to see for myself, fly it my way, see if it works the way I want it to work. So that's going to be my true test, is anything I do, not what I see others do. So more to come. And again, thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. And if you are new to my channel, as always, hit that subscribe and hit the bell for future content notification. And I will be bringing you more, as I mentioned, on this one. And we'll catch you in the next upcoming videos. Peace and love.